Well, Jan, you recently were with Michelle Bachmann, and actually it was last summer, and kind of exposed the whole thing with World Economic Forum and how the United States was going to surrender sovereignty, our sovereignty, to the World Health Organization for the next pandemic or the next problem that comes up. And I just want you two to respond to this video, because I think we're right there on the verge of this happening.
And the video is a clip from Michelle from 1 year ago, but the very same scenario, and that would have been May of 2023. And now the very identical situation is coming up May of 2024 in about a month, and that's what we're trying to apply it. What she was saying back then is now going to be effective in just a few weeks. So that's laying the groundwork there.
We dodged the bullet for a year,
We dodged
but here
the
we
bullet
are
for a
again,
year. Yeah.
and the question is, will we dodge it? And this is significant. Can you imagine America surrendering its sovereignty to unelected people from foreign countries that have evil agendas that would really like to destroy? Here it is.
The attempted power grab described by Bachmann involves the World Health Organization, or WHO. Through a series of 307 amendments and a global pandemic treaty, the WHO seeks to gain authority over health decisions of UN member nations that could affect the rest of the world in the case of something like another COVID pandemic.
Then they would be empowered to tell us in America, we have to lock down. We have to shut down. We have to close our churches. We have to close our schools. We're mandated to take a vaccine, whether we want to or not. We're forced to mask. We're forced to whatever it is that they tell us that we have to do. We have never before in history, in 5,000 years of recorded human history, we've never seen this level of authority given to an international global body.
Those supporting this authority for the WHO, such as top advisor Dr. Abdullah Asiri, say it's necessary to protect the world's population, even if it means restricting some of their liberties. Bachmann sees little to no opposition from nations' top leaders in handing over this power starting next year.
I don't think all the nations fully understand what these implications are, so we have very little time.
Some in Congress oppose this move to further empower the WHO. They've proposed legislation that would deem it a treaty. A treaty would require Senate approval. Bachmann, however, claims the White House is trying an end run around these lawmakers.
The Biden administration doesn't plan to bring this treaty back to the U.S. Senate because they're using a subterfuge. They're calling it not a treaty, they're calling it an accord. And they're saying this isn't a treaty, this is just an accord, we can do this, we don't need the involvement of the U.S. government. But once you give government and power away, it's very hard to get it back.
The former Congresswoman points out the Bible warns world-dominating power will bring trouble.
When you look at what the Bible says and the convergence of events that we are seeing across the world right now and what the prophets from the Bible have said, we need to really pay attention to what's going on, because this is the creation of a platform for global government.
The name of Tedros Ghebreyesus, who's head of the World Health Organization, who's formerly an Ethiopian Marxist terrorist, could literally be, who's the head of the World Health Organization, could be the one formalizing global government if, in fact, it would ride on the vehicle of the World Health Organization. And nobody's pushing back on this. It's happening in May, just in a few weeks.
You know, Ronald Reagan said, government is not the solution, it's the problem. And when you start giving the autonomy, the sovereignty of the United States, i.e. your life, to people who hate us, who are socialists, who are communists, it is not going to go well.